with that, I'm going to yield back, and I'm going to call on my fabulous colleague, Dr. Jim Baird, for his 5 minutes of questioning.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Was that part of my time you were using or not? Or anyway, Dr. Romine, when you look at your knowledge and your experience and the number of times you've been here, maybe I should just allow you to decide what question you would like to answer. But I'm not going to do that. Here's a question. You know, in past testimony, you mentioned the importance of collaboration with stakeholders in the realm of elections and to be successful in creating voluntary standards. How often does NIST meet with election officials, with industry, outside technical experts, and advocacy groups, and what's been produced as a result of these meetings, in your opinion?
Thank you for a question that allows me to brag about NIST a little more. I appreciate that very much. We meet, the subcommittee meetings I talked about and the various task groups have meetings, virtual meetings, biweekly, in some cases weekly. The level of engagement is high. The amount of participation is high. The work that we're doing on the development of the guidelines and in the cybersecurity profile that I talked about, the cybersecurity framework profile, is a testament to the productivity of those activities. We work collaboratively with the Department of Homeland Security and obviously with the EAC in tackling some of these challenging issues with regard to security of many kinds, but security of our election systems in particular. On the industry front, we have strong collaborations. One of the secrets of NIST is because we're non-regulatory, I like to say aggressively non-regulatory, we have a very strong working relationship with industry in many, many different sectors of the economy, and certainly we have strong relationships with the election vendors as well.
Thank you. Dr. Zerks, in your written testimony, you describe how efficient Oklahoma's election system is, and you state that the efficiency of Oklahoma's voting system is by design. How can we at the federal level of government ensure that you get what you need to bolster the security of Oklahoma's election system without reducing the efficiency that your system has designed to achieve?
I'm very proud of our system. As I mentioned earlier, it's paper-based. It is auditable. It is verifiable. We use optical scanners. We have since the early 1990s. That's when we first developed our statewide uniform system. In my opinion, the best thing that Congress can do is to help ensure that we have the resources from various federal agencies for help. One of the things that I'm very proud of is the working relationship that we have with local federal and state officials, Department of Homeland Security, both state and federal, FBI, our state cyber command. They and others are all part of an election working group that we have, and I think making sure that those various entities and agencies have the resources to work with their local and state election officials is very important.
Thank you. And I have one more question for you. If you're in your closing remarks, you said that the federal policymakers should keep in mind that each state is different and that imposing one-size-fits-all would be disruptive, expensive, and could create an adversarial relationship between state and local officials at a time when cooperation and partnership is very much needed. So how can we best help states improve the security of their election systems without encroaching on their constitutional prerogatives, and at the same time ask any other things that you might consider important?
Well, thank you for the question. Oklahoma is different from other states. My state has a little over 2 million registered voters. I believe Mr. Kelly's county has about 2 million registered voters. I have counties in my state with fewer than 1,500 registered voters that are staffed by one county election board secretary and one staff person. And I think you have to keep in mind that as you're looking at election legislation, the broader that you make any requirements. The more that you leave to local and state election officials to decide how to implement those, the better we can make it work for our states. I know that I believe in Oklahoma we know more how to run elections in our state than someone from Washington D.C. or maybe a college professor from another state, for example.
Thank you, and I'm out of time, so I'm sorry I don't have questions for the other three of you, but thank you for being here.
Thank you. And the chair now recognizes